Hello. I have been receiving some emails regarding Chapter 5 assignment. So what I thought I'd do is go ahead and go through the worksheet, and hopefully you can follow along as far as how we got the answers that we did. Now, just a quick FYI, I know the census report is in PDF format, but what you could do is go ahead and save it in Excel. So you can right click and save it in a different format, or you can click on it, open it up in PDF format, and then save it in Excel. And that's actually what I've done. Let me show you here. Saved it in Excel format. So when I open it, this is what I see is the Excel format. Okay. And I have found that a lot of the students have done this is they actually used Excel to get the formulas. Okay. So we can start with the very first one. The beginning census, and the beginning census is right here, 120. BEGCNS is your beginning census. So that is 120. Admissions, if you will see column C is admissions. So what I did is I just took that column C, and here's the formula, is summed it up. So that's where we got the 257. The transfer ends, go back up to the top. Here's transfer ends, which is column D. And again, summed it up. That's 104. Live discharges, scroll up. It's DIS live, and that's column E. 237. Next is deaths, and that's column F. 7. Transfer outs is column G. 104. Ending census is 133. Okay. Now, how do we get from there to here? Because the way it started, let me go back to the original one. You had this to work with, right? This was the only information that was given, right? So you had to come up with this column, right? The census, okay? So what we did, let me make sure this is correct. Okay, 118, 3, and 121. This is all that was given to you. So then you had to start filling in the rest of these blanks. Okay? So on this column, what I did first is figure out the census column. Okay? So I ended up with 117. Take a look at the formula. It's B6, C6, D6, E, F, and G. But as you notice, some of them are plus and some of them are minuses. Okay? So how did we come up with 117? What we did is we took the admissions column, started off with, let's see here, B6, which is 118, okay, 118, plus your admissions, which is 9, which is C6, then you add in D6, which is the 5. Okay. Then E6 here, you're going to subtract because those are the discharges. Okay. Next is F6, F, row 6. You are going to subtract the deaths. Okay. Then is G6, which is 5. That would be transfer out. That's a minus, which gives you 117. Okay? So again, you have to go in and figure out which ones you're going to add, which ones you're going to subtract. So again, beginning census, that's your 118. 118 you put in here. And then admissions, you're going to add, transfer in, add, discharge. These are people who are leaving. So that's a minus. Of course, if you have any deaths, you're going to subtract. And then the transfer out gives you 117. 117 you then take and you put here, because then on the third day that's going to be your beginning census date. Now, an easy way to do this is you copy formulas. If you do click on the previous, the block right before it, you right click, copy, and then paste. Okay, gives you 122. Okay, 122 you put in here. Again, you copy the formula. All you're doing is copying the formula and then hitting the next one, paste. And that gives you 126. 126 goes here. Okay? You do this all the way through. That gives you these numbers for census in the census column. Okay? Do exactly that all the way through, and that gives you your ending census of 133. 133. Okay? Next, we have inpatient service days. You can do it one of two ways. What I did is I summed up the column of census 4190, and then I summed up the column I, A and D final, gives you 42. If you add 4190 and 42, it gives you the inpatient census days, 4232. Okay? 4232. And now the reason you have to add in the A and D final is if you will look on page 93 at the top where it says total inpatient service days, towards the end of that very first paragraph, it says, to this subtotal, one inpatient day must be added for each patient A and D between the two successive census taking hours. So that A and D has to be added into the census. So that gives you the 4232. And that's for the adult ANC column, or ANC questions. Okay, so again, it's beginning census is 120. Admissions is 257. Transfer ins 104, live discharges 237, deaths 7, transfer outs 104. Okay. Ending census is 133. Okay. And then inpatient service days is 4232. Okay. But again, the key to all of this is, again, you started with this. So you have to figure out the census and then the beginning census for each day. Okay. And then the inpatient service days, which is this column, inpatient service days, what I did is just put in the formula of census, which is H6 plus I6. In other words, you're adding the census plus the A&D final. That gives you the inpatient service day for day 1. And then the same for day 2, 117 plus 4 equals 121. 122 plus 2 equals 124. 126 plus 1 equals 127, etc. So that gives you the inpatient service days, and then at the end you sum all of them up. Okay. Beginning census, then we move on to this side of the spreadsheet, and that is for newborns. Okay, newborns. Beginning census, again, is right here, 14. Births, again, added up the column, 82. Okay, births, all I did was do that. Okay. Live discharges, 84. Deaths is only 1. And then ending census was 11. And then inpatient service days, 376. But again, this is what you have to work with. You have to begin filling in the final census, and then the final census goes here. So again, the formula, here's the formula. You take beginning census right here, and then you add the births, and then you have to subtract the discharges, discharge live, okay, and then you have to subtract the deaths. So again, the formula is N5, the sum of N5, O5, P5, Q5. But the key to remember is that those last two you have to subtract. So you put the negative or the minus in front. Okay? So that gives you your final census. Now once you get this, you just put that number here. But again, what I did is, if you right click and copy and paste, it gives you the 16. Okay? And in fact, let me see. What I can do is, let me remove this. Okay? Make it blank. Okay? So if you go right click and copy and then paste, gives you that number. That number, you key it in here. Okay? Right click, copy, paste, gives you 15. This number goes here. Okay? Right click, copy and paste, 16, that number goes here. Right click, copy, paste, 15, key it in here. Right click, copy, paste,